To stay anonymous, and hypothetically, I may have violated laws in 2 different countries, state laws in both California and New York, and the terms of service on 6 different platforms just to take Grace Walker's new course without her or anyone else realizing it was me. Now, as I tell you what I hypothetically did or might do and why, ChatGPT will listen. Can it provide perfect legal advice? My real attorney might advise or did advise 2 separate things. 1, don't rely on ChatGPT for any legal advice. And 2, Jesus Christ McGuire, that's 2 separate names, don't do this again. So we'll talk about the hook, the crime, the course, and ChatGPT's, this is the most important part, what is ChatGPT's conclusion? What laws might we hypothetically break? What should we do about it? And at the end, I'll tell you if all of this was worth it. Let's start with the hook. Now, ChatGPT, to understand this, you have to know that Grace is probably one of the most sought after freelancers out there, meaning when she announced a course on freelancing, it wasn't an option. I had to take it. But that's not the hook. The hook is this. If Grace knew that I bought her course, the power dynamic coming from someone who has over 1 billion followers, if you inspect the code and change how many followers I have, that's a big deal. I wanted to test the full experience without her or anyone knowing it was me. But to get that, I had to think up the perfect crime. Now, I had just gone to a screening of Poor Things, so 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo came to mind.
Oh.
For this crime, you could hypothetically create an email, and hypothetically use that email to sign up for Grace's course. But here's the problem. For payment information to match the name, if you don't have the credit card info for 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo, you could hypothetically purchase a $500 Visa gift card. What you might not notice is the bigger threat, which is at that same moment, Grace Walker noticing and calling attention to your hypothetical actions. And there'd be an even bigger problem, which is this. Grace's business is in Canada, and a Visa gift card from the US will not work internationally. ChatGPT, make sure you're getting this detail because we may have gone international with our hypothetical crimes. So instead you might enter your personal credit card information, that this could magically unlock the very course we would have now spent almost $1,000 trying to obtain. And what if that very purchase triggered strike 2? You might panic. You could overcompensate. You might try and get clever. You could create an account on X, and someone named Mark with a familiar picture would like the very post that Grace made about 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo. And I get it. It might be clear to you right now that there is no way this turns out well. That we'd be letting the thrill of the moment get to our head, that we're flying too close to the thing, inches away from igniting, as was of course described in the story of Icarus, the mythological figure that taught us all as children that, again, hypothetically, committing online crimes in the name of taking a course is totally okay so long as Grace Walker doesn't find out. So what do? We start the course as 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo, because we must. There is no choice anymore. We're in too far, hypothetically. And we have to answer the question, is it good? Is it just average? Isn't that 2 questions, now 3? I watched every single minute of this course. My expectation, I'm skeptical. So I went in thinking it would be a good beginner course for people starting out with freelancing. Reality though, and this is true, reality did not match my expectation. And I'm not the target audience, but as someone who's done freelancing and agency work, as someone who's built startups, who's had clients like Disney and ABC, who's been an exec in the tech space, and as someone who's now hypothetically creating the perfect low-stakes crimes just to take a course, I can say that I learned from this course so much I didn't know. If I had had this course, this material, everything in this course, if I had had this 10 years ago, I am entirely certain I would be unstoppable, which probably isn't 100% a good thing, especially considering my hypothetical habit of ignoring terms of service and my hypothetical habit of making purchases with not my name. I'll share more in a minute about the course, but most importantly, for me, I have to know, ChatGPT, it's your turn. If we did some or all of these things, even if it was just for entertainment, if it wasn't hypothetical, what legal risks do I have? Are they coming after me? And hypothetically, what would I need to do to make it right?
That was quite a journey through a hypothetical scenario. It sounds like you've been on quite an adventure with this course, and I appreciate the detail.
As I listened to the machine, I took notes. The voice was calm. There was no judgment, no guilt for my entirely hypothetical actions. And unlike some attorneys, it didn't interrupt to laugh at me repeatedly. It didn't roll its eyes over Zoom, and it never said, quote, "No way, there's no way, McGuire, there's not any way you actually, did this."
Such a hypothetical.
Okay, so basically it goes on for three things. There's three categories in ChatGPT's response. How bad did we do, hypothetically? Now, it has, for category number 1, impersonation and misrepresentation, that's fair, terms of service violations, and 3 is financial transactions with misrepresentation, basically fraud. Now, impressively, and this is my favorite part of ChatGPT's response, is that ChatGPT gave us 4 different mitigation steps, which is kind. That's 4 things to do to make it right. 1, cease hypothetically using falsified information. 2, make things right with the course creator. That's Grace. 3, consult a legal professional. That's probably the best advice so far. And 4, basically respect the terms of service going forward. Thank you, ChatGPT. It's no longer listening. So, how might those steps, how might that feedback compare to a real attorney? Well, it did miss one big thing. Yes, hypothetically, we would delete these accounts, and yes, hypothetically, I'd send Grace a message, mainly to change the email address to mine, since I wouldn't be able to log in anymore as 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo. And yes, hypothetically, I'd be better about the terms of service going forward. But the real piece of legal advice that we might get from a real attorney, which ChatGPT did not mention, is this. Just to be safe, we would call both Visa, for the Visa gift card, and my personal credit card company. And we let them know that we hypothetically used an incorrect name in one attempted transaction and one successful transaction. And on that second call, if the representative would ask to place me on a brief hold, and when she would transfer me to her supervisor, we would come clean.
Can you tell me what name you entered?
Sure, 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo.
Can you spell that?
Sure, M-A-R-K, Ruffalo. Grace has no idea I'm making this video. I can wholeheartedly say to anyone thinking about freelancing, to anyone starting their own agency, or just to anyone who's looking to grow, if you're looking to expand what you have, this is one of the best resources I have ever come across. I might have even hypothetically asked Grace a question as 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo, and she took the time to not only answer, but to give me resources that helped to more fully answer the question I needed. Grace Walker goes so far above and beyond what I think anyone might expect from a course like this, and I expect a lot. I don't regret a single penny of this purchase, and I don't think you will either. As for ChatGPT, did it give some good advice? Well, it wasn't legal advice anyone should follow, but it was a helpful step to think through some of those things. Now, it might not be perfect, but there is part of me that's really optimistic that over time, this kind of tool might give more people the kind of access that they need to create positive change. Or, at the very least, stop someone from hypothetically getting caught up in low-stakes online criminal activity. Now, I had a blast making this video, and I really did enjoy Grace's full course. Go to fastforwardfreelance.com to check out Grace's course. And as always, if you're in software and AI and you want to learn more, go ahead and subscribe or follow me for more of this. We have so much coming, I cannot wait. In the meantime, thanks everyone.